I spend a lot of time looking at not just traditional higher education institutions, but any company or any enterprise that is focusing on creating human capital and connecting students to learning experiences, but also eventually to the next place in their career path.
Have you found employers to either discriminate or value the education, the credentials, the training from traditional educational institutions?
I find that a lot of the alternative providers are focusing very much on highly in-demand jobs. And that's why coding boot camps have come up in particular. It's not, literature analysis boot camps, it's coding boot camps. Everyone and their dog wants a software engineer on their team.
I see kind of a disconnect between all the innovation that's pushing towards doing education cheaper. And at the same time, I hear you saying things like it's mentorship, it's close connections with people, which is very expensive in educational realms, right? And so how is the tech industry going to assign everybody their own mentor cheaply?
I have spoken personally with a few institutions that are either relying on creating like very live synchronous experiences where it's not just, you put something in the chat forum and someone's going to reply to you the next day, but you're actually talking face to face with someone, even if it's remote. That is much easier to scale up in terms of number of students, just because it's not even about the number of mentors available, but it's because there's just a high fixed cost for having buildings and campuses, right? When you're online, you can more easily double your enrollment and find ways to, even if you have to hire more mentors, you're not also paying for an additional building. So part of the solution is just that online scales up much more easily with lower infrastructure costs.
Jeff asks, do you think consolidation should happen in the higher ed industry, or should it only happen when it has to happen?
We're not here to sell disruption or to say that it's the solution to all problems. If the institutions that are having to shutter their windows and doors are ones that are not delivering on their value proposition, then maybe at the end of the day, there are worse things.
I am wondering how equipped, from your perspective, are higher ed institutions to be able to employ things like design sprints?
If you try to embed into an existing culture this new idea, it's probably not going to make it. You won't have really strong advocates for it because everyone's busy doing their own thing, and it's just not what people have done in the past. Oftentimes, there might be ways, and I don't have a solution for this right now, but ways that traditional institutions can, how can we increase just person-to-person connections, not just having a lecture, but actually having some kind of closer mentorship bond. And alternative providers have caught on to that well. Even the ones that are strictly online, they've found ways to create one-on-one mentorship things, like a weekly check-in that is serving as a decent proxy, and they're going to optimize that over time, I think.
Well, it's been great having you. I look forward to following up with another session maybe next year. I look forward to learning from your institute and from your own work. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This was a pleasure.